Yeah, I said no, I don't know them personally, but I know the the drummer that played in all of the recordings, essentially, like 95% of the recordings. And I know the bass player for the last two albums. And I have a song with them. And like they fucking I mean Brian the drummer, I talk about him all the time, Brian Evans. If you ever heard me talk about him all the time, you know. He fucking woke me up and my ex-girlfriend pretty much. They woke me up and I became a fucking god because of them. Became a god at what I do. I had no self-confidence. I had no sense of identity with music at all. Uh More so songwriting. I had an identity with songwriting, but not with music. And I never saw myself as a musician. And then you know, Brian and my ex were there for me after my fucking traumatic experience working at the fucking mental health place that I worked at. And yeah, it's a really long story, but yeah. Um, and then Anthony Crawford, who's the bassist I showed you yesterday. Did you realize that that was that song that I showed you, Charles? Did you realize that that was my song, and that I was playing in it too? You were like the drums sound real good, and I'm like, yeah, I mixed that shit. So you could say that's like 80% me. Drop the song, dude. Yeah, I played it for you yesterday. I wanted to see if you guys would get it, but you know, I put them on the front. I put them on the front because they deserve the spotlight, and I was just honored, you know, because Brian and me were pretty good friends at this point. Brian and me were pretty good friends at this point when I asked Anthony Crawford. So I met him in like I met Brian the summer of 2023, and then I asked Anthony around like March 2024, maybe February 2024. And Brian was like, "What? How do you?" He's like, "How did you get Anthony to fucking make a song with us?" He charges like $10,000 for a song, or he charges like 3,000, or he charged Ton like $3,000 for a song or some shit, and he just did it with us for free. And he's like, "Damn, it's probably because you said that I was in it or some shit," and it probably was, you know. But he probably also saw that I'm no, you're good. Anthony Crawford probably saw that I'm like an up and coming guy too, so I think I don't think he would have just done it with anyone necessarily. Yeah, I mean, I didn't negotiate. I just emailed him and I was like, "Hey, do you want to do a song with me and Brian? It's in this key, it's this time signature." That was it. And then he was like, "Yeah, bro, send it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And you know, being validated by him. You know, I don't care about validation much unless you're like a fucking god in your field. And I'm like, "Damn, this guy woke me up." They both woke me up. So yeah, that's the you know, they're the ones that really like catalyzed my self-confidence, which ultimately catalyzed everything else that you're looking at right now, you know, and my lack of self-doubt. Because no matter what anyone says to me, I know that they don't do music. I know they don't know shit about music. Exactly. No, so I'm like objectively good. I used to talk down on myself a lot, and I used to not believe in myself. And then, you know, Brian and me would talk on the phone all the time. We'd talk for like 2 to 3 hours, at least once a week. You know, he lives in California, but we talked all the time about like everything. And then I would always be like talking down on myself. And at one point, and like if you know anything about Brian, it's so flattering, dude. Because especially at that time when I met him, he was he was like, and he might still be known as the world's most hated drummer. You know, like everybody's got something negative to say about him, even though he's a really awesome guy. He's like a really cool guy, but he's incredibly misunderstood. And he also helped that like that fact. I talk about my Instagram arc a lot. You know, he inspired my motivation to pursue that Instagram arc because a lot of people thought that he was going through some manic episode, but he was just being real, you know, and he was just speaking his truth. So I'm like, damn, he's so comfortable with people not perceiving him in a correct way or like in like the way that actually is representative of what he's trying to say. And people are like, You know, and that's like a whole perception. That's a whole paradigm that completely gone to waste because of people's lack of critical thinking skills. And that's the, you know, just a person's feelings on the line ultimately. And Brian just didn't give a fuck, dude. And he's like very real and very honest, and he hardly gives out any compliments, right? And he hardly gives praise, and he has more criticisms than he does with praise in this world because there's so much fucking shit going on in this world, you know. But I would talk down on myself a lot, and then he fucking interrupted me and he yelled at me. He was like, "TJ, you're a god." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like that shit fucking woke me the hell up, dude. Because no one in my life acknowledged my like abilities, you know, or like my hard work that I've been doing my whole life, pretty much. No one in my life was like treating me like the fucking musician that I am. They're just kind of fucking treating me normal, which is cool, you know. I'd rather be treated normal, but no one ever was like, "Dude, you're like really good." So I'd never thought of myself like that, you know. At the same time, so I mean, I don't regret a single thing because I don't want to do anything for external validation, but I'd like to have some recognition, you know, from my loved ones around me. But like, no one would be willing to admit that I'm arguably the best musician in the whole world. No one's, no one's, no one was willing to admit that, and they still aren't. But having fucking Brian say that I'm a god, and Jeff Ellis, producer of Frank Ocean's Blonde, and so many other fucking hits, he's like a like he's done so many top records. He did Joji's most recent record. I asked him if he could mix my debut album, February 2024, through email, and I was like, you know, I always do everything myself, but if there was anyone that I would ask, it'd be Jeff Ellis. And then I asked him if he wanted to, and then you know, I didn't expect a reply or anything, and I don't know if he does reply to everyone. He could just reply to everyone because he seems like a really nice guy, but he's like, "This is super cool." I'm like, I can't do this project, but I would like, but this is super cool, and I wish you the best, you know. And then I've like talked to him a couple times. He hasn't really like engaged with me too much, but I'm not trying to like start a fucking relationship with him either. But so that alongside with everything else was hella validating. And yeah, Brian would just wake the confidence in me because you know, there was another mutual that we had in the drummer community, and I don't need to say his name, but like that guy also lives in Illinois. So we eventually all hung out at one point. But then Brian was telling me that that guy is way too confident in his abilities, and he's like a fucking 4 or 5 drummer or some shit. And then he's like, I'm the exact opposite. Like, I think really down on myself, but but I'm like, he's you know, he's like, I'm actually humble. That's what he said to me. He's like, you're actually humble, and you think you're bad, but you're like really good. And that's like the first time anyone's really said anything so specific to me and to my heart. So having it be from the person that is known to be super honest and to like not give out praise just to anyone. And you know, I'd been talking to him for like maybe 3 or 4 months up until that point, you know, and like we were just, me and him have a thing too. We never told each other what we thought about each other's parts or art. We just had that mutual respect, you know. I never asked him what he thought about my songs. He never asked me. You know, we just fucking treat each other like fucking mutuals. And that's awesome. And I think about that so much cuz everybody else is like, "What do you think of my song?" I'm like, "Bro, I've never asked anyone in my whole life what they think of my song cuz I don't give a fuck." You know. And so finding someone like Brian was really really great for me cuz I was hella alone, you know. I felt hella alone. That's my short spiel on my relationship with John, is that, you know, Brian fucking jammed with him since their beginning and since he was in high school, but he never wanted to be like a touring person or whatever. So he taught Nathan. He taught the drummer Mario's and Isaiah's brother, the front facing drummer, how to play the parts. You know, so yeah, and they hired Anthony Crawford for the last 2 albums, and spent a lot of money on him. So I'm like hella chill now. I don't need any validation. I just need money. That's all I need. I just need money now. I gotta find a way to like make this a career for myself because I know that I have the respect of literally the best people in the fucking field. Literally the best people that I could ever ask for to like show me the light. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try not to fucking talk about it all the time, but yeah, that's like a huge, huge moment in my life, and I'd be nowhere without them, and their fucking persistent presence, and their like confidence in me, and their like deliberate, conscious praising. So I try to do the same thing. Like I try to see people like how Brian saw me, and because that changed me a lot. Changed a lot for me. So I try to do that for like you guys or anyone that might be feeling like they're not seen. Because I've been depressed for like fucking my whole life pretty much. I told you about that yesterday, Charles. So it wasn't until I started finding myself after Brian woke me up that I worked so hard every day, and I'm still working hard every day. But it wasn't until then, until last November, that I finally realized that I'm not fucking depressed anymore, because I'm living in a place where my parents are not like telling me to get a job or anything like that. They've like accepted that this is probably something that I should be doing right now, or they don't at least like contest me. So I have zero resistance and all the fucking permission at this point to just keep going. And yeah, so first time in my life, literally, I can say that I'm not depressed. First time in my whole life, I can say that I'm not depressed. And I'm 30 years old. And it just happened like half a year ago. So yeah, I'm hella blessed. And I say that as much as I can. I'm super blessed. And I don't think I deserve anything. So I just want to use the most with what I have, my opportunities. And try to give back to the world. Or not really back to the world, because the world fucked me over. The world failed me, but I'm trying to give to the world because they need it, just like how I needed it. But the world failed me, man. I did a whole fucking 2-year scientific study, artistic scientific study, and nobody came to fucking lend out their hand for me. And then once I figured that out, now I'm like actually myself on the internet, and I'm meeting cool people like you guys, and you guys don't have to experience that version of me that was doing a fucking social experiment, trying to see how people react to a person becoming a lolcow, like potentially having a suicidal manic episode on the internet. And the lesson for me is that they're just not going to do anything. And the lesson for them is that if I'm fucked, they're fucked, because I have a really good mental and I have a really good work ethic, and I'm really nice. So if I'm fucked, like, we're all fucked. That was my lesson. But that's kind of a lot right now. So but I do believe that. So I'm trying not to be fucked myself so I can have more hope with the future. Because I've done everything right, and I'm doing everything right, and I'm improving every fucking day. So yeah, if I'm fucked, we're all fucked. That's what I believe. And I don't think I deserve anything, and I think luck has a huge role in all of it. But if there was anyone that deserved anything, it'd be the person that put their best and performed the best and is continuing to do the best and not like lashing out at anyone out of entitlement. Fucking segue. Thanks for listening, guys. Because this is all my fucking world. But I I don't want to talk about it all the time. Yeah, that's a lot coming from anyone who is any way associated with the musicianship of Sean, right? And I see myself, if not like on their level, I see myself above their level through the sheer fact that I play all the instruments at around their level, except for like maybe like a level or a stage or two below their level, because they're really good at what they're doing. So I'm like that, and I've written over 1,000 songs. So I'm like, I literally think I'm the best in the world. And it started out as a delusion, and a conscious delusion, so I could feel guilty if I didn't work hard enough to become the best in the world. And I literally think that I am the best in the world at what I do, and I don't think there's anyone that could do what I do at all ever in history. I think I think that I'm like I've built myself up to be such a special case study in apex performance and like musicianship and artistry. So yeah, I'm the first to do it. I'm the first to do a fucking social experiment in the scale that I did. And I've got so much art as a result of it, and it's all informed. And I feel great about that. I'm not just fucking making shit up. Do I believe people can be their own Brian? Yeah. That's one of my goals. Is to wake people up to their potential and to like encourage people to fucking find themselves, like how I was encouraged to find myself when someone expressed their belief in me, you know? Someone that I thought was really cool, you know, expressing their belief in me more than anyone else that I fucking knew for more than like a year or two or three or four or five, six, my whole life, you know? I want to give that feeling to other people because, yeah, that's one of my biggest beliefs is that, you know, life purpose is about self actualization. You know, it's very common psychology, existentialist take of finding oneself and like to build oneself, and the fact that our identities and selves are never going to be truly built until that we're dead, you know, and even then it's not like we're done building, it's just that our potential got cut off at that point. You know, I think we're all capable of adopting the growth mindset, and then having the growth mindset is like one of the building blocks to finding yourself and to realizing that you're not who you, no matter what you think, you're not who you were yesterday. Even if you think you are, like no one's going to be the same person in 5 minutes. Cause you know, you didn't hear me say this like 5 minutes ago. So you wouldn't have been thinking about it, you know, and now you have like all these other branches of thought that you can consider if you want, you know, if you're listening to me and you're not like resisting what I'm trying to communicate with you, you know, and you're just kind of like listening to me, then you're naturally going to be looking at things a little bit differently. So as a result, your perception is different, and then you're different because you are what you see, at least partially. You know, you are what you see in the world, at least partially. Yeah, that's my fucking goal is to, because you know, I know everyone's a fucking pussy. I know everyone's a pussy, and they have good reason to be. And I think everyone has good reason to kill themselves, because this fucking world sucks. And I don't blame anyone for giving up on the world, because you know, I've almost been there so many different times, especially during my fucking campaign. Because my prediction was that yeah, they were gonna do nothing, and they were gonna kind of be digging their holes in their own lives, and to like not consider the crazy man on the other side of the screen or anything like that. Like that was a theory, like, or my working hypothesis, and I don't know why I was as upset or like sad. I mean, disappointed that I was, because you know, I had to learn some hard truths as a result of that, and it's so yeah, I think society is not designed for self actualization, you know, and we're all like fucking fighting each other or competing for resources and like randomly being racist and randomly being exclusive, whatever you call it, like fucking picking in and out groups, making battles, starting wars. And it gets in the way of everything, you know, it's a huge domino effect. And I don't blame anyone who gives up because it's a lot to deal with. I don't blame anyone for that. At the same time, I'm still gonna call you a pussy if you do, but I'm a pussy too. You are what you eat, after all. All right, what's up? Yeah, I got, you know, ask me about my fucking beliefs. I'm gonna fucking get angry. Sorry. Asking someone what they think of your music is. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so. It's asking for validation. It's none of my concern what your business is with my fucking self expression, you know. And that's like one of my purposes too. Is like I believe art is purely about self expression, and anyone who's doing that outside of, like for like fucking other reasons besides trying to find themselves or trying to find themselves through like whatever comes out in the moment of an artistic moment, it's like commercialized art, and it's like inauthentic. It's more inauthentic in that nature if you're not like speaking from your voice, or at least trying to find your voice. And I say this a lot, you know, a lot of people fucking, yeah, I got you guys. Got a lot of ground to cover. Yeah, don't we all? All good. You guys seem like you have pretty good heads on your shoulders, honestly. And I'm really grateful you guys are part of this, you know, growing community we have going on here. Really grateful you guys are around, for sure, because you guys are hella chill, silly, and yeah, you know. So that's what we want. Is like cool people to fucking surround ourselves with and to like learn from, and to, you know, because you know, like you're saying, Archio, we're all different and we all have different experiences, and we can all learn from each other. It's not like I'm done learning. I'm sure there's a lot you guys can bring to the table outside of like including but also outside of like technical shit, like life profound philosophical shit, and like other things in you know, that I don't really consider in my worldview because of whatever reason, just because like I'm in my parents' basement all the time and I don't have to like interact with the fucking radio station or something in Charles's case, you know. Or fucking, I'm learning a lot about Resident Evil too, but that's more of like a technical thing right now. It's not a freaking philosophical thing yet. So yeah. So yeah, thank you guys too. No doubt. Thank you guys. Cause shit's busting, you know. I have a lot of fun with you guys. And I would not be here every day if I hadn't met people like y'all, you know. If I had hecklers this whole time, I would definitely like be so discouraged. I'd be so discouraged, dude. Uh, yeah, but yeah, asking anyone for fucking validation, and that's why I tell people I don't want to fucking listen to your music, you know. I'm here to tell you the value of finding yourself through music. I don't want you to fucking ask me to troll your nuts for the moment, and then you just fucking you like, because like no one's gonna really grasp that anyways. Like anything that I have to say, they're just gonna fucking interpret it in their own way. It's not even worth it for me, and then they won't even value it like what it would be, in my opinion. So I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking tell you what I think if you give me money at this point, but otherwise, like I don't have any reason to believe that you would be better off with my opinion, because my opinion doesn't really matter in the first place. But uh, I also need money, so if you really want it, then pay me, you know, because I need money. So I don't know how to fucking monetize my shit, because I'm about free education and all that fucking shit too. I'm a fucking pirate. That's the primary reason of why you think social media is completely fucking composition in the music industry in general. Yes, well, yeah, because of the people that control the agenda. You know, it's because of the programmers that prescribe culture to us, as opposed to it kind of being organic. It's like a really forced artificial culture that we all kind of experienced, and then a lot of people don't think too much about it, so they don't grow past it, or they just don't have that fucking instinct to begin with, you know. So they're fucking sheep, in other words, and they are also a part of the problem, even though we're all victims of it. I even think like billionaires are victims to it, but they just happen to be the most delusional and you know, and like probably evil. But like I also think that they're victims of it. I think everyone's fucking suffering. And I think that the way that things are in society play a huge role in the blockage of our ability to find ourselves. And a lot of us harden into our world beliefs that some of us may be too far gone to even backtrack and to like actually be able to live a life where you value yourself more than anyone else. Like that 80-year-old I was talking about who fucking worked as a janitor his whole life. But in the last, like, what, 10, 20 years, he had $8 million in the bag because he was a smart investor. But he fucking gave all of that away to a local library. And they're not going to do anything with it. Like, they don't give a fuck about it. It's like, and that guy's probably getting, like, praised for being a good guy, you know? And he was in the comment section when I saw it. They were like, that guy's such a good guy. I'm like, bro, he wasted his fucking life. It's upsetting. It upsets me. That's why no one can say anything to me that pisses me off, is because I'm only focused on like fucking like Epstein or some shit, dude. I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say to me. There's nothing that anyone can say to me, you know. Even really before I got hella validated by the goats. Like now, like there's really nothing anyone can say to me. I have so much fucking under my belt that is undeniable. And anyone saying anything otherwise against me is clearly talking out of their own ass than using their eyes and brain. And that's a powerful position to be in, dude. To have that certainty, it's a really powerful position to be in because I just don't give a fuck anymore what anyone has to say. If they're fucking criticizing me for no reason, at least. I mean, I listen to everyone, but I have a pretty good gauge on who's sincere and who's not. Pretty good gauge. I like to believe, at least. 3 heads on 6 good shoulders. Yep. Yeah, we are. You know, we represent a whole generation. So the youth are important. You can't ignore the youth. You can't ignore the elderly either. The elderly deserve respect. Everybody deserves respect. So, yeah, you know, if I wasn't able to get a good torch passed down to me, I'll try to pass down a good torch to the next guy. You know, try to do that, and we can fucking execute all the chomos, the child predators, in the way as soon as we figure out, you know, that they're fucked up. Yeah. And that's cool, you know. Illinois, China, or not Illinois. There's like apparently 5 states in the United States, and then China is just fucking. I know Utah's one of them. They're just like. I'm like, let's fucking go, guys. I love seeing that shit on my feed. With all the other shit going on, that's like the kind of murder I can get behind. It's hard not to have other people in mind when writing for me, which is incredibly annoying. You mean like the opinion of what they would think for you? Yeah, even I get that all the time. So no worries. But I'm not trying to console you necessarily. But yeah, I relate to you. I didn't mean to interrupt what you said. That is really annoying. Don't know if oh yeah, yeah, I can relate. Don't worry, bro. Like I you know, cause I'm like a really active listener. So unfortunately, I'm interrupting you right now. So let's see what you're saying. But I only found that to be the case until after I tried making music a career. Oh, interesting. Actually, yeah, maybe I haven't thought of it like that ever. Maybe I haven't thought of that ever. Like yeah, I never really did care. But but I will say that like some decisions and like some comments that people would say did kind of make me second guess myself. Like when I was, I don't know, like maybe around like 2017 or something, one of my good friends who I respected a lot was making a comment and was like, it's just major 7 chords or something. I'm like, oh, I gotta figure this out, you know? And then I did figure it out and I found a way to be different. So like I use that information, but like when I'm actually in the fucking you know, the battlefield and the zone and the playground on the sandbox, I'm just in my own world for sure. But like afterwards, and I'm hearing what people think from people that I like, I do consider that, and I consider it all. You know, I'm a pretty open-minded person. I'd like to believe. So it's yeah. I had to teach myself to be arrogant creatively. I had to teach myself when it came to who I am outside of writing, because yeah, I've never negotiated any of my parts or anything like that, but like I guess the playing field and the rules of the playing field have been influenced or like you know, swayed by people who I respected's opinion and like what they thought was cool. I would try to, but then that's like a thing that I'm human, like a not really empathy, right? But like I'm a human person, and I like people, and I like, you know, I'm interested in what you're interested in. Like as you both can see, I'm fucking nice. Brooklyn, you played Seven Nation on bass. That was your goal. I remember that. That was like 2 weeks ago. You told me that's what you wanted to do. Nice shit, Brooklyn. And no, I'm never gonna buy you anything, so never ask me that again. Just letting you know. Um, but yeah, you know, like Resident Evil, I'm interested. I'm interested in stuff outside of my fucking know-how, and I would hate to freaking deny an opportunity to learn more about the world, especially if it's like something of a like interest or passion for you guys, like people that I think are cool. So it's like another. It's just like really hard to balance being um, a caring social person as well as being an arrogant artist. You know, you got to put on a couple different hats. So it's interesting balance for sure. I'm definitely like walking a thin line in pretty much everything that I do. Yeah, yeah, balance. It's loaded. But even now, you know, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I especially don't give a fuck or think about. Like, if I catch myself thinking about what other people would want, I like actively talk myself out of it, you know? And then it doesn't, the conversation doesn't really go too far because I've done that so much in my life that it's more of a reminder than like a decision to make. It's just like, oh yeah, value me 100%. Oh yeah, my bad. When it comes to my own artistic decisions and pursuits, yeah, most def. That's a fucking tangent, guys. Thanks for listening to me. Super referential creatures, of course. We're yeah, we soak in the world, whether we realize it or not, and we pick and choose what we are. Yeah, you naturally aim to please, so we pick and choose what we are naturally. What do you call it? Like aligned with, you know, and what we see in the world, or at least that's what we should do, in my opinion. If there was anything that people should do, and I often tell people that I don't think they should do anything, at least when they're asking me about what they should do, if there's anything that you should do, it's the thing that you want to do. But I know that me saying that is a hell of a privilege because I'm under my fucking parents' roofs and I don't have to pay rent right now. Even though when I did pay rent and I was depressed as shit, working full time, also while fucking no, this was when I was out of school, but I was working full time and I was trying to fucking live in Portland, Oregon. Even though everywhere now is fucking expensive, I was still playing music every day. I was still gigging. I was still writing songs all the time, but you know, it's easier for me, I guess, to do that, and I understand that that's like a fucking a lucky pull from the genetic pot per se, where it's just so much easier for me to find time because I would rather not, or I because I would do that rather than anything else. You know. What up, Colin? Welcome, welcome, brother. But yeah, it's a. I'm definitely lucky to be able to say all the stuff that I say and not get fucking for it either. You know. at least at the moment. Who knows what's gonna happen to me? But I fucking you know, that's also why I have an archive of everything, and that's why I document everything, so I can make my point undeniable and not up for debate, because it's really about discovery at that point, because I have so many seeds. There's no debate. It's just like, how much information are you using to come up with what I was trying to say? If anyone, you know, that's kind of like a fucking main character syndrome thing, but I am building a legacy for myself, and I intend to fucking see it through and to take over the world. And I will use everything that I'm doing every day here as a proof of concept. Long time no see, Colin. All right, I should definitely get back to scales and some shit. Thank you all for listening. Really, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, not a lot of people are so receptive to some hard conversations like these, even though like it is holding like a baseline of like, you're the fucking shit and the world sucks. That's my ultimate message. You know, is like, the world sucks and you're better than you could possibly know. And you, if not right now, even though you probably are, you can be even way better in the future too. But you're, you know, all of us, at least like the depressed people, the depressed artists that aren't fucking up their ass all the time, you are 100% better than you think you are. That's what I can say for sure. But there are people that are fucking just they need to take a step back and reevaluate their trajectory before they fall into their own pit of self jerking off. And I try to avoid that too. I try to avoid that for myself, and avoid stagnation or complacency or comfort with where I'm at in life. And I try to trust myself and all the fucking training that I've done with measuring myself more than anyone else's measure of me. But I'm 30 years old now, you know, so I don't think I could have done it at any other time in my life, to like look at myself accurately. Thanks for talking, man. Genuinely nice to hear the perspective. Hey, I appreciate that you think that, man. I appreciate that you think that, because yeah, otherwise it's just, I don't talk to people like that, you know. Like, for the most part, I just want to hang out. I just want to vibe. And at this point in my life, I'm not trying to fucking shove the hard truths if people don't want to listen to it, you know, because it's fucking, it's tough to think about, dude. I've had so many existential crises in my life. I know what I'm putting people through sometimes. So yeah, I appreciate that you can receive everything gracefully, and just yeah, I appreciate that a lot from you guys. Truly. I can get down with free expression if only I wasn't so blocked. But you're good. I think stagnation is the word of the decade. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, there was a point. There was a point where shit might have been looking good. I don't know. I heard what's his name? Mark Ribillier, the looping guy that waited it for the iPhone. One of his subway takes, and then it was like, the question was like, or his take was, he thinks that all data centers should be they should all be destroyed, and we should just start all over, because where we're at right now is fucked. And like, yeah, I'm like, it's fair enough, dude. I think you could say that about like everything going on right now. It's like we had so much promise at one point, but then it turned into this weird, you know, really weird and dangerous. I don't even know how to talk about it, but like, really toxic culture and society that affects everybody's lives in more ways that we can count or to emotionally weigh with words. So yeah, we're definitely hit past the stagnation point. We're definitely past the stagnation point. All right, guys, I gotta play some trombone soon, but I will definitely read your comments and remarks now and then also in between songs. But I try not to look at the chat when I'm performing for my mental health and my creative arrogance training. Going through a period of a lot of evaluation right now, as I was mentioning yesterday, so 'tis very useful. Hey, yeah, I got you. Yeah, man. I got you, brother. I got you, brothers. Family. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered for the longest time if I'd ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. I wondered for the longest time, and like somehow I was able to stay strong and I was able to stay human oriented by some fucking miracle, you know. So yeah, I want to be a fucking proof that people can do it, and they can persevere. Cause yeah, I told you I cried for like every day, and I got like tears in my eyes right now. I cried for every day, maybe 3 to 5 times, like from middle of 2027 till like last summer, 2025. And it's a lot of it is also because like my people around me are going through some fucking crazy shit. Not even just my parents or whatever, but like you know. So like the whole time I'm like really privileged. I'm in good health. I'm like doing well on paper, but the people I care about and the world around me are fucking crumbling too, and I don't really have any like hope for my own personal future. I'm just like, I'm just like good at what I do, but that's not gonna fucking pay the bills. So it's not even like my world was perfect during those times, but yeah, there's, you know, yeah, I think I'm lucky as hell. I think I'm lucky as hell. I mean, I am lucky as hell. I think everyone should sing in the shower would save humanity. Maybe. Or at least have the ability to do it and to like have no shame. I can get down with that. No shame inwards or outwards. Just like the ability to sing, especially in like a fucking comfortable environment such as a shower. That'd be nice if everyone could do that, yeah. All right. Well, I'm all eyes if you guys, or I mean, while I'm playing, I'm not all eyes, but I'll be checking the chat, If you guys ever want to type a bunch and not have me fucking interrupt your sentence or whatever, I will be there to read it. And I'll take some time to respond, but I'm actually running out of time, so I might actually have to fucking take this a little bit faster than I was ready for starting that last sentence. Thank you, TJ, for just even orbiting these kind of thoughts and articulating good stuff. Hey, I got you. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for seeing value. That that's the type of validation that I can use. I can use that, and it's gonna go a long way for me. So I really do appreciate you letting me know. I can use that, and I will definitely use it. You've seen my Instagram, and I'm like, I had to teach myself to not give a fuck about what anyone thought about me, because you've seen my Instagram, you've seen my socials. Anyone else would be in fucking crippling self-doubt with my stats. That's 100%. Trombone it up. Oh, appreciate you, Charles. Sweet, man. Yeah, thank you for listening. Nice chatting. Um, yeah, nice chatting. I hope you're all able to explore these, these touching points, whatever, like these thoughts in your own way, with on your own time, in your own whatever, and then we can all come back together at some point and share a little bit more and dig a bit deeper next time around, and because you can always dig, you can always keep digging and then find gold. You can always do that. There's no end to it. There's technically no potential or no end for potential. Sweet. Nice. Well, yeah, sweet dinner for you then, Archie. And I'm gonna try to cry while playing trombone. And I wish us all the best. Best slumber, sweetest of dreams, most delectable of dinners, and the most sad music. Oh. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Take care, everybody. I am going to reset myself. I've been talking a lot. I'm in a headspace. I'm gonna step away from the camera, enter my own world, reground myself, and then I can come back in like 3 minutes because I don't have a lot of time. I'll come back in 3 minutes and then we can get that show. Have fun with me. Peace out, dudes. Out.